Was she really the brilliant actress everyone believed her to be? Or was Diane Keaton silently hurt by those who said she wasn't good enough anymore? Some say the criticism broke her spirit. Others believe the sadness behind her smile was what took her away too soon.
Saddened and surprised to hear about the passing of the great Diane Keaton, who we lost way too soon. She was 79. Her movies and her style made her an icon.
The world woke up in disbelief. The beloved actress, filmmaker, and Hollywood icon Diane Keaton had left in California at the age of 79. The news spread like wildfire. Fans, co-stars, and filmmakers everywhere froze in shock. How could someone so full of life, laughter, and creativity be gone just like that? Diane Keaton wasn't just a name. She was a feeling, a symbol of wit, elegance, and fearless individuality. Her quirky hats, her laughter, her playful awkwardness, they made her real. She wasn't like anyone else in Hollywood. And maybe that's what made her unforgettable. But behind that famous smile, there was silence. A silence even her closest friends couldn't understand. Reports later revealed that her health had declined very suddenly in her final months. Her family chose to keep everything private, and even some of her lifelong friends had no idea what was happening until it was too late. The truth is, Diane was never one to chase sympathy or attention. She lived life on her own terms, quietly, deeply, and privately. Her passing left Hollywood heartbroken, and the people who knew her best began to speak, one by one, sharing memories, tears, and tributes. Woody Allen, her longtime collaborator, and the director who helped define her early career, called her unique. Together, they created classics like Annie Hall and Manhattan, films that would change cinema forever. A close friend said Woody was extremely distraught upon hearing the news, describing her as one of a kind, unpredictable, and endlessly inspiring. Bette Midler, her co-star in The First Wives Club, wrote emotionally, "She was brilliant, beautiful, extraordinary, hilarious, and completely without guile. What you saw was who she was." Goldie Hawn, another dear friend, shared a bittersweet memory. "We agreed to grow old together and maybe one day live together with all our girlfriends. Well, we never got to live together, but we did grow older together. Who knows? Maybe in the next life." Those words echoed in the hearts of millions, because they weren't just talking about a colleague. They were remembering a sisterhood built on laughter, loyalty, and love. Born in Los Angeles, Diane Keaton's journey to fame began in the 1970s. She wasn't conventionally glamorous, but that was her power. She redefined what it meant to be a leading woman. Intelligent, clumsy, independent, emotional. She made imperfection beautiful. From The Godfather to Annie Hall, from The First Wives Club to Something's Gotta Give, every role she played felt real because she was real. She didn't act. She became. Her performance in Annie Hall won her the Academy Award for Best Actress in 1978, but the world soon realized she was more than just a romantic comedy star. She was an artist. Yet even as her fame grew, the pressure of Hollywood's expectations weighed heavy on her shoulders. Some critics began to question her acting choices in later years, calling her out of touch or past her prime. Those words, small as they may seem, have the power to wound even the strongest soul. Was that the reason for her sadness? Was it the silent heartbreak behind those iconic eyes? No one really knows. But what's clear is that Diane Keaton was deeply human. Someone who felt, who feared, who dreamed. In her later life, Diane focused on her family, her two children, Dexter and Duke. They were her world. She spoke often about how motherhood gave her purpose beyond fame. Her friends say she had started spending more time at home, surrounded by her art, her plants, and her beloved dogs. She smiled less in public, appeared rarely at events, as though she was slowly saying goodbye without ever saying it out loud. In March, just months before her passing, Diane quietly put her dream home, her Los Angeles mansion, up for sale for $29 million. It shocked many, as she had spent 8 years personally renovating it. She called it the house that Pinterest built. Looking back now, it feels like a farewell, a final letting go. When the news of her death broke, Hollywood fell silent. Michael Douglas called it heartbreaking, saying she was one of the greatest icons in our history. Reese Witherspoon urged fans to honor her by watching one of her movies, saying, "She was such an original." That word, original, captures her completely. Steve Martin shared a memory that perfectly summed her up. He posted a picture of an old magazine interview where their co-star Martin Short asked Keaton, "Who's sexier, me or Steve Martin?" Her answer? "You're both idiots." That was Diane, witty, fearless, and delightfully unpredictable. Rose Byrne also paid tribute, remembering Baby Boom as one of her favorite childhood films. "It was before its time, indelible. Thank you, Diane Keaton." And then there was the video, shared by Australian journalist Laura Brown, showing Diane goofing around during a photo shoot, stacking hats on her head, laughing uncontrollably. The caption read, "Diane, what a gift you were." And she truly was. After days of mourning, details finally emerged about her funeral. It was small, intimate, and deeply emotional, just as Diane would have wanted it. Held in California, surrounded by her closest family and friends, the ceremony was filled with love, laughter, and quiet tears. Her two children, Dexter and Duke, stood together, hand in hand, as gentle piano music played in the background. Among the guests were Woody Allen, Goldie Hawn, and Bette Midler. There were no cameras, no media, just the people who truly knew her. Bette was seen quietly wiping away tears. Goldie leaned on her shoulder, both holding white roses. Michael Douglas, unable to attend, sent a heartfelt note that read, "You taught us to laugh at life and love it even more." Diane's daughter, Dexter, gave a brief but emotional tribute, her voice trembling as she said, "My mom lived exactly how she wanted, free, funny, and full of light. She never apologized for who she was, and now she's free again." Her ashes were later scattered in the garden of her home, the place where she used to sit every morning, writing, drinking coffee, and watching the California sun rise. Even in her final years, Diane was open about her personal battles, from bulimia to skin cancer. She once told Dr. Oz, "I'm an addict in recovery. I have an addictive nature, but I learned to turn that energy into something creative." And she did. She turned pain into art, fear into humor, and loneliness into beauty. She reminded people that it's okay to be imperfect, okay to be strange, and okay to be yourself. Her honesty about aging and self-acceptance inspired millions. "I'm not afraid of getting old," she once said. "I'm afraid of not living while I can." Those words feel heavier now, because that's exactly what she did. She lived, fully, unapologetically, authentically. Today, as fans rewatch Annie Hall, The First Wives Club, The Godfather, and Something's Gotta Give, they're not just remembering an actress. They're remembering a woman who made being different look extraordinary. A woman who taught us that laughter could heal pain, that love could exist without perfection, that strength could come from simply being yourself. So maybe she wasn't broken. Maybe she didn't die from sadness. Maybe she just knew it was time to rest, leaving behind the laughter, the legacy, and the love that the world will never forget. Because Diane Keaton didn't just act in movies. She lived them. Every line, every tear, every laugh. And somewhere, beyond the lights of Hollywood, her laughter still echoes. Soft, pure, and eternal.